Let's look at keys and joins. So here we have 4 CSV files. We have purchases.csv, orders.csv, products.csv, and customers.csv. And often the data will reference other pieces of data. So in each one of these, we can define a primary key. This is the column or set of columns in a table that determines the values of the remaining columns. Primary keys, remember, have to be unique, and there are lots of examples. So social security numbers, product IDs, customer IDs, and so on are good examples. So here, our customer ID in customers.csv is unique. We cannot have 2 rows in customers.csv that have the same customer ID. Similarly, in purchases.csv, it's a set of columns. The order number and the product ID give us a unique identifier for purchases.csv. We cannot have the same order number and product ID appear in a different row. Now, foreign keys are the columns or set of columns that reference primary keys in other tables. And we need foreign keys to be able to do joins across the tables. So here in orders.csv, customer ID is a foreign key. And that lets us do a join between, say, orders.csv and customers.csv so we could get the addresses associated with an order. Now, there's some very important questions that you should ask about the structure of data. Are the data in a standard format or encoded? Is it tabular data, so a CSV or TSV or Excel or SQL? Or is it nested data, say JSON or XML? Are the data organized in records? If the answer is no, well, can we define records by parsing the data? So remember the example of the log file, right? That data, we could build a parser that would let us turn each line into a record. Are the data nested, right? That is records that contain records, which might contain records, and so on. If the answer is yes, well, is there a reasonable way for us to unnest the data and turn it into some rectangular or tabular format? Does the data reference other data? If the answer is yes, then we can join and merge the data with that other data. And what are the fields in each record? And how are they encoded? Right? Are they strings? Are they numbers? Are they binary data? Are they dates? Are they date-time data? And so on. And ultimately, what is the type of the data? So these are all very important questions that we want to ask about the structure of our data.